Good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Public Library, Tracy Frie back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good. How about you?
Good, good. How was your Thanksgiving holiday? Did you get any of it, or?
Oh, it was
I don't know if you had to
okay.
work or.
No, we actually have been off for 4 days.
Nice.
I don't know how to act now.
So you're just getting back into the groove yourself here. So
Trying to.
good deal. So did you do anything exciting for Thanksgiving?
I just went to my son's house in Hobbs.
Okay. So a little road trip, but not a major one. So
Exactly.
good deal. So cool. So did y'all do the traditional turkey and all that, or did y'all do something different?
No, we did the turkey. My daughter-in-law made ham.
So are you full on officially sick of turkey?
No, because I only ate a little. It was like so much going on with the kids and everything that you
no
just
leftovers to bring back or anything?
Oh, I had made a little turkey, so I have my own little turkey.
But not enough to
Nah.
to be sick of it 3 days later. So.
No, because I haven't. Last night I ate some, but I didn't eat any the last couple of nights. So.
Okay, so you took a break in between.
Yeah.
See, I think that's what I've been. I mean, turkey the first, but we also did a ham.
Yeah.
And so we brought the ham, and they told us to take the ham back with us. So it's just my wife and I, and we have basically half a ham sitting there. So I cut it all up, finished cutting it up yesterday, and so we'll try to do sandwiches for another day or two, or as long as we can. Then we'll either freeze it or
put it in the freezer.
There's only so many things you can put ham in after a while. I'm like, I love ham, but it's like, guess what you're having for eggs? Breakfast, eggs and ham, and guess what you're having for lunch? Ham sandwich, or
there you go.
Last night I cooked some pasta, and guess what I put in it? Ham, just to get rid of some of that ham. But good. So, of course, library's, open and ready for the holidays here. And
yes.
How was the Thanksgiving there? I know you guys had a few things, prior to the Thanksgiving holiday.
Well, since the kids were out of school last week, we had a movie on Monday.
Yeah.
And just little things, nothing major.
Just stuff to let the kids get out and get a little bit, maybe allow time for parents to prepare meals without kids all over the place, things like that. So.
Right. But now we're ramping up for December because, we have lots of programs.
It's a busy month.
Yes.
It's a busy month everywhere, particularly at the library.
Yes.
So good deal. So, I guess we got to get started because I'm sure there's a bunch of events we want to put on people's radar here for the next couple weeks.
The first thing I want to say is that we are a place for you to drop off toys for Tots.
Toys for Tots, okay.
So we are accepting new unwrapped toys from now until December 19th.
Okay.
So,
and what you'll do is if you go to the library, you'll probably see a box or a bin that says Toys for Tots, and then you can drop it off there.
Yes.
And a new unwrapped toy for a boy or a girl.
Exactly.
And so, and a brand new toy. And this is the Marine Corps League with their Toys for Tots. They do. This is a national annual tradition. And good deal. So you can drop. I know there's other places too, but while you're at the library, checking out books or getting returning books, go ahead and drop off your toys there. And but December 19th, the deadline.
Yes.
For and here's the thing. I know that you're thinking, oh, it's late. Well, they even if you donate it now, it goes to a local child, but it might be next year if it's December 19th. You know what I mean? But and those toys stay local. So when the people here are local, it'll stay in the Chaves County Reed area. So when you donate through these, it's going to local children. Yes. So just if that's important to you, that's something to mention. Well, I know some people are, I want to focus on local. I want to let you know this is local.
Yes.
So, good deal. So that's going on through the 19th. So bring your toys by there. Well, what else we got?
This Saturday we're going to have the chess club meeting.
Okay.
From 10 to 2.
That might be a good toy to put in Toys for Tots, a chess set.
Yes.
Not a high dollar one, but a starter set, or maybe get a child into chess.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course we're going to have our story times on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, like we've been having all year, starting at 10:30. We have the Spanish one on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. That's going to happen, this month also.
Cool. Which we've talked enough about that. We say, I don't care if your kid doesn't speak a lick of Spanish or vice versa, bring them to both, because the more inclusion, immersion you do into all that, the more that's going to rub up on your child. And by the time they're an adult and things, maybe they got a couple languages under their belt, and that'll serve them well. So
oh yeah,
yeah. So.
Okay. So our big thing that's going to be coming up is December 10th. We're going to have our Utah Festival.
Okay.
So we're going to have crafts. We're going to have a Santa with some elves there and cookie decorating. And it was well attended last year, and we're hoping everyone will come out. And that's going to be on December 10th from 10:30 to 1.
It's a lot of little make and take projects and things for the kids to do. Maybe little Christmas ideas for gifts.
We're going to even have Andy Mason performing. So we're going to have music, too.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while. He's
December 10th.
Okay. I know my wife's a teacher, and he would also go in the classrooms years ago.
Yeah.
And so he would go into my wife teaches second grade, so it was right in that wheelhouse of Andy Mason songs. The second graders and that group love them. I remember back in the day, and this was probably 17 hits ago, but he used to do a burrito song that just drove the kids nuts, and he'd sing about the burritos, and I think he did like the beans part makes you fart, and all the kids giggle and all that stuff. But yeah, and I just remember all the years. He's kind of well beloved by kids. So if there's a bunch of to be honest, some 20-somethings running around right now, they're probably like, oh, I love seeing Andy Mason as a kid, at the classrooms and things like that. So, so I imagine there's some kids but I imagine there's some young adults that are equally like, I haven't seen him in a while. I'd love to go see him at the library. So Andy Mason, maybe you can request the burrito song while he's there.
Can.
But what's the date he's going to be there?
December 10th from 10:30 a.m.
And that's at the Yuletide event there. So come and sign up. Do you need to pre-register or is that just
No, it's a come and go event. You come. So if you can't stay till 1, that's fine.
So you can spend an hour or the whole time or just a half hour, whatever it is, it's available to you.
Exactly.
Good deal.
Yeah. And let's see, we have 4-H that's still coming to our library. It's going to be on December 14th at 3 p.m. And they're coming and they do crafts, and it's a fun, free event. If kids get out of school early, the elementary schools get out early on Wednesday, so for them to come at 3 p.m., that'd be great.
Sure, good. Come, and that way, especially if you've got, because their day's ending a little earlier, and you got your work schedule or whatever's going on, so that thing, hey, let's take the kids' library. They can work on some crafts and things, and
discuss 4-H with the people there.
4-H is great, and here's the thing, and I'll tell you. When most of us think of 4-H, we think of farm and livestock and all that, which is very much a part of 4-H. I'm not going to sit here and say that isn't. But you could have a full fun time in 4-H and not do anything to do with farm animals or livestock or any of that. They do anything from shooting sports to computers to home economics to everything else. So it's not just about cows. It's way more than that, cows and pigs. So come out to one of their crafts, come learn it. Adults too, hang out. If you're looking for like gardening tips and things, Drew or, depending on what agent's going to be running the 4-H event there, you could get a bunch of stuff as an adult there too. So come for the kids, stay for the adults. And they really do good stuff.
And speaking of gardening, Drew will be at the library on December 17th, which is a Saturday.
Okay. That's probably the Saturday before Christmas, I'm guessing, right? That weekend before Christmas.
Right, it is. Yeah. And so he'll be there at 10 a.m., and he's going to be discussing gardening, of course.
Okay.
And I believe the topic this month is going to be using scraps to start your garden.
Oh, very cool. So, and he's full of great information that. Everywhere from a commercial level to your backyard garden. He does all that stuff.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay, so on the 15th, we're going to have our adult book club.
Okay.
The book we're reading is The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. Okay. It's going to be at 1 p.m.
That sounds familiar, The Four Winds. I feel like I've heard of that. Wow.
It's a book based in the Depression.
Okay.
Kristen Hanna wrote it about this family. They're leaving wherever they're at and going to California. Okay. And what they experienced.
So they're trying to make their way during the Depression era.
Right.
And this is kind of their trail, their what they do and
what happens to them.
I imagine they get some pretty rough stuff, but hopefully come through the adversity as better people on the other side. Of course, you got to read the book to find out. I have no idea, but it does sound familiar. It sounds like something I've heard of. Or was it a bestseller and all that?
I think it was.
Okay, maybe that's why I've heard of it. But interesting.
Yeah.
But if you've never done the library book club, love to have you maybe try this one.
Yes.
Basically, you can get the book at the library. So
correct.
The only real requirement is you got to have a library card in good standing.
Exactly.
And then you go to the library and say, "Hey, I'd love to be a part of the book club. Can I check out the book?" And then you check it out and read it. And then on the 15th,
Yes,
right?
at 1 p.m.
At 1 p.m. Would love to have you come back and discuss the book. And that's what it is. And so everyone that's read the book, come in and then share your feelings, sharing your thoughts. And if you've never done book club before, think of it as giving you an opportunity to hear other perspectives.
Yes.
Everyone, you can get 10 people to hear a story, and you'll get 10 different kind of reactions from the story.
Yeah.
And that's what book club is all about. And it's kind of maybe they're going to talk about it from an angle you never thought about. And you're like, okay, that's an interesting perspective. And so you might come in there thinking the book's about one thing, and then you have a whole nother perspective by the time of the discussion. But that's the fun thing about book club. It's a bunch of people coming from different walks of life, reading the same book and seeing what kind of experiences they get from it. So, so that's it. And again, this one's called The Four Winds.
Yes. So and you can check out the book at the circulation desk. And so
depending on how fast or slow a reader you are, you need to make sure it's read by December 15th. So, so if you need more time, you might want to check it out this week. If you read a book in a night, then you got a little time on you. But I'm not one of those people.
Okay.
All right. Moving on to the next one here.
Okay. So on Saturday the 17th, also, we're going to have a STEM activity. I'm not sure of exactly what it is that says STEM here, but it'll be some sort of STEM activity for the kids from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, December 17th, after the gardening.
So come for gardening and stay for STEM, science, math, and engineering.
There you go. Yeah. And then, since the kids will be out of school on the 19th, which is a Monday, at 2 p.m., we're going to show the movie Home Alone.
Okay. The original. The very first one.
Yes.
I saw a commercial on TV, and it was the mom from Home Alone.
Yeah. I seen that with Kevin.
And Kevin Hart.
Yes.
And she's running around the store looking for Kevin, and then Kevin Hart shows up, and it's like, she got a history of losing Kevins. Yeah. And, it was kind of a cute little story. Yeah. But if you don't get that commercial, come to the library and watch Home Alone on the 17th?
Yes. I'm sorry, the 19th.
19th.
At 2 p.m.
At 2 p.m.
We'll have popcorn.
And now that commercial makes sense. It's a cute movie. If you've never seen it, I think just about everybody's seen it. But there might be a few generations that haven't seen it yet that come in and check it out. It's
hard to imagine.
Yeah. Actually, if you're honest, if you're an ingenuitive person, you can pick up a lot of tips on that thing,
That's true.
To me, it's always been, that movie's always been the live action version of the Roadrunner from the cartoons back. You know what I mean? Because they're always scheming the Acme stuff and all. Right. And there's, if you don't know, the little boy who's left home alone, there's intruders, and he does all these elaborate things to keep them from coming into the house. It's
which was a really big house, too.
It was a nice house.
Oh,
the mom and dad must be doing pretty good.
Apparently
they can't remember the whole family, but they had a nice house.
Yeah.
So,
can't keep up with the kids, but that's okay.
But on the 19th, come see it at the library.
Yes.
Good deal. What's next?
Okay, so the week of the 20th, we're closed for Christmas, the 23rd to the 26th. And then on the 27th, which is a Tuesday, we're going to have at 11 to 1 a.m., we're going to have board games and popcorn.
Okay. Is that kind of the New Year's, ringing the New Year's kind of thing?
We're getting there.
All right. This is a pre-gaming for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then on the 28th, which is a Wednesday, we're going to have Legos and popcorn. Okay. So if your kids you just need to get the kids out of the house.
Sure.
Bring them on in from 11 to 1.
Come eat popcorn and play Legos. Don't do it the other way around.
And then on the Thursday, the 29th, we're going to do perla beads, which is making these little crafts.
Okay.
And then the big finale for the year is the New Year's Eve party.
Okay.
And that's going to start at 11:30. We're going to have crafts, music, like we did last year.
Okay.
And everybody's more than
welcome. So ringing the New Year at noon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not doing it. We said 11:30. It's a.m.
Yes. I'm sorry.
New Year's Eve morning or whatever. Not 11:30 at night.
No.
11:30 on is it Saturday? What's New Year's?
That's a Saturday.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what day New Year's was. New Year's Eve is Saturday, right? So New Year's Day is Sunday.
So we're gonna have the balloon drop and everything like we did last year.
So ringing the New Year at noon at the library on New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve party.
New Year's Eve. That's right. Yeah. So, but come bring the kids, like you said. It's going to really, it sounds like a 3-day event, really, leading up to the actual New Year's event. So come bring your kids by. They can have fun playing Legos and eating popcorn and meet new kids and all that good stuff.
Exactly.
And then on New Year's Eve, bring them in early, 11:30 to come and do a couple more crafts and fun, and then ring in the New Year at high noon.
Drop the ball, the balloons, I should say.
And then you're in bed by 1.
I will be.
Right? Your parents will be. All the adults will be. But yeah, so that's a fun way to ring in the new year with their family, but not trying to be all bleary-eyed at midnight doing it. So,
oh, I hope I'll make it to midnight that night. But you get up early for things like this, and then you're kind of...
To be honest, I don't think I've made it to midnight the last couple of years. I think the last 2 years I've been out before midnight. I think I have.
Oh.
I used to always do it, but the last couple of years I'm just like, yeah. Or if I make it, it's because I'm just up doing something else anyway. Right. I wasn't watching the ball drop or nothing. So it's been weird moving to New Mexico. I grew up on the East Coast, and so midnight was midnight. It's midnight everywhere. You know what I mean? It's just kind of how it works. And now it's like, well, they just dropped the ball. That was 2 hours ago where I'm at now. You know what I mean? It's a little...
Well, this 20 minutes, come on.
Yeah. It's just growing up at the place where I just like, well, that's where everybody did. And then you realize, oh, wait a minute. It's not midnight everywhere.
Right.
But yeah, I've even as an adult, I've had to adjust to that where I'm like, oh, it's 10. I ring in the East Coast New Year now while I'm in New Mexico. 10 o'clock, let's go to bed.
When I lived in San Diego, it would be New Year's Eve, and everybody in New York would be calling and telling me Happy New Year, and I'm like, but it's only 9.
Yeah, that's still good. We're just getting started here.
Make me want to put on my pajamas now.
Yeah, the New Year's Rockin' Eve just getting started on TV here.
They're like, oh, that's all right. You're just looking at the replay.
Right. Yeah, you feel kind of bummed. You're like, sorry, actually already happened,
Yeah.
So, which it's bummer because if there's live goofy stuff.
Right.
You see it live on the East Coast, but they usually like, oh, we're not going to replay that one for the West Coast feed, kind of thing. So if there's something interesting that's going to happen, you catch it on the East Coast feed, not on the West Coast feed.
Yeah.
But that's just a pro tip if you're trying to look for that stuff. But you don't have to worry any about that. Just ring in the New Year's at the library at high noon on New Year's Eve, and then we'll be good to go. But
yes.
That's my kind of party at this point. 20 years ago, I'd be like, oh, that's boring. Now I'm like, yeah.
Well,
that's my speed.
Well, by then, the kids are been out of school for a period of time, and they just might need something just to get out of the house to do something and expend some energy.
Everyone's tired of looking at each other, a little stir crazy. Yeah, I get it. You probably experienced a minor version of that over the weekend here. Come about Friday, Saturday, you're like, all right, are we still Thanksgiving in here? Or are we ready to wrap this up and move on? So. Yeah. Good deal. Is that it, or is there anything else we need to highlight here for library upcoming events wise? Anyway,
just in January we're going to have a Billy the Kid program that's going to be. But I'll talk about that next time I come. It's going to be a Sunday event, and of course, Ralph Estes is coming to perform Billy the Kid.
Oh, is he do like a Chautauqua thing or?
Yes.
Okay. And if people are, I learned Chautauqua by doing radio because way back when I was first interviewing, someone said, "Oh, they're coming to do a Chautauqua." I'm like, "What the heck is a Chautauqua?" and then they explained to me. So a Chautauqua is when a person, it's kind of like method acting, like Daniel Day-Lewis or any of those folks. Like when Daniel, in case you didn't know, when he played Lincoln, he basically was Lincoln. Yeah. Like off camera, on camera, he's like, I'm Lincoln. And so and Chautauqua's kind of in that same vein whereas a person doesn't just dress up as a historical or whatever figure they're trying to portray and tell you a story about them. They, in essence, live the person. So when you talk to them, they're like, no, I'm not Joe Blow. I'm Billy the Kid.
Exactly.
And Billy, what did you do as a kid? Well, I grew up in Lincoln, New Mexico, or wherever, the whole story is. And so... And I know some people like to try to break the kayfabe there a little bit. That's a wrestling term, but we're trying to break them into character, getting out of character. But it's just that's part of the thing. So basically, this gentleman will come in and he'll be Billy the Kid for the entire duration, and the whole point is to give, especially this was probably more geared to younger audiences.
It's for families.
Family, so it's good for adults, kids. So bring them all, but. With that, they're probably going to gear it to talking about, what Billy did and how he lived and how, and I love it because kids get a perspective of life before internet and TV and electricity and many of those types of things.
Imagine that.
And they understand, life lived and we did a lot of things before, quote unquote, a smartphone was, surgically grafted to your hand. But it's really cool. So please, we'll talk more about it in January here, but I think you're going to love. Especially if you love that lore of Lincoln County Wars and all of that history. I learned, because I didn't grow up here either, and so I used to watch the the Young Guns movies, as a teenager and everything, and liking those, loving those movies, but not thinking so much about the historical accuracy of some of them.
Exactly.
And then I moved here and spent first time going to see the town of Lincoln. Have you had a chance to do that, by the way? Yeah, it's really great.
Yes.
Everyone should do that. That and Fort Sumner, two really cool places to check out. And Fort Stand there and all at Fort Sumner. Fort Stand, that's what I meant. Anyway, they and that's when I realized, oh man, Young Guns movies actually, some of the now granted, the order and the dramatization's a little off, but like at the end of the first movie, spoiler alert, they're in the lawyer's house and they're trying to, that all happened, and you see where it happened in Lincoln, New Mexico and stuff. So things like this, that they kind of bring all of that back to life, and you start seeing. So I always loved that. I watched the movies and had a love for those movies, and then I came here and learned the real history.
Right.
And so it was kind of neat to tie them together.
Right.
And so events like this bring that that kind of things to people. So I got off on a tangent there, but yeah, it's cool. Check it out there. Of course, don't forget the library is full of lots of resources and things that are available to you as a member of the library, which only requires you to get a library card. It's free of charge. And then, of course, check out, return your information on time. Then you have no issues whatsoever.
Right.
Don't forget, there's a whole online side to the library as well. You can go to the Roswell Library's website through the city. If you go to roswell-nm.gov, there's a tab for the library.
Right.
There's a direct link, but it's got a lot of backslashes. So just go to the city, roswell-nm.gov, click on the library tab, and then you can go see all the library stuff you need to do. But if you need to check out like audio books or music or things like that, you can do that directly through the website without even setting foot in the library.
Right.
If you want to sign up for some of the tutoring and some of the other programs that are available to people that have a library card, all of that's done through the city's website there. Right. All of it's right there. So in theory, and I say this a lot, but in theory, you do not have to step foot in the library to utilize all the library's resources.
Right. They just need the library card with their PIN number, which they'll get when they sign up for the library card, which is free.
Absolutely. And then now I don't recommend that. I think you should come into the building and check out all the great books and and spend time meeting the staff and participate in the programs and all the fun things there. But if you need those resources, if you're a resident of Roswell, I don't know why you don't have a library card. Every resident of Roswell that's age appropriate, of course, has a library. I think because you never know when it might come in handy for you, whether you just looking for a book you're having trouble finding and you're like, oh, I can just go to the library, get it for free.
Right.
Or whether it's something, I've got a kid that needs tutoring, or I've got, we got a road trip, or hey, we got the Christmas holidays coming. Maybe did some traveling Thanksgiving.
And get the museum pass.
Get the museum pass. That basically it's a pass that gets up to six people into like 15 or 20 different
something like that,
museums and facilities throughout the state of New Mexico, including Lincoln, by the way.
We
were talking about Lincoln. That's one of the ones you can get in there for free. But some of those museums up in Albuquerque and Santa Fe, Las Cruces, throughout the whole state.
Alamogordo, to the science.
Yeah, to the science, the Space Museum there and all that. Yeah, all of that. And so basically, you get into these events for free. So up to six people.
Right.
Which, just for Lincoln alone, I think they charge about $10-12 a person. 60, that's $60-70 right there.
Right.
I could do a lot with $70. I don't know if you guys, but I could do that. So for free, and you get it for a whole week, and it's first come, first serve. But again, these are different resources, different things that the library offers to the community, free of charge.
Right.
And all you got to do is come and take advantage of it. So, give out the library hours and everything for folks that need all that information.
Okay, so Monday through Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday, 2 to 6 p.m.
Very good. So, open 7 days. Back to doing all of that again. So, back to the post-COVID hours and things, which is nice to have here. And of course, if you're just looking for a book to read, just looking for getting, or sign up for the book club. If you're looking to make friends and things like that, come out December 15th for the net. Go check out the book, The Four Winds. Just go to the front desk. Go say, hey, I heard on the radio about the book club. can I get signed up for that? And they'll be happy to tell you all about it. And check that book out. Maybe that's your first step in there. Read the book and then meet some new people. Next thing you know, you're coming to book club every month because you're like, oh, I love me. Because I imagine you probably get some of the same people that sign up for the books each month, and because they love not so much reading the book, but the whole experience of book club.
We actually got 2 new members last month, so that was pretty cool.
Good.
So it's just they just came to check out what the book club is about, and then they read the book.
Okay.
And then it's funny how people who start, sometimes they'll ask you, like, what other books did you guys read? And I said, well, we just started the club again. And I tell them, and they'll read it, and they'll come back and say, I enjoyed that book.
So they're like, I'm going to bring back from 2 book club books ago because I love that book, and I want to put my 2 cents in.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what you know. Yeah. So are you the one that picks the books?
Yeah.
So what's your? I'm just curious. What is there criteria or anything that you use to decide what's a good book for book club?
Well, I did it before in Virginia, but the ones that I'm using here are the ones that we already have multiple copies of. Okay. Which are basically pretty.
So that's one of the things is availability.
Right. Availability, and then I think the ones that we have are actually like have awards or something with them, so they're very popular.
Something that's got a history behind it, or it's been put onto other people's radars, maybe not people here, but you know it's on the lists, the Pulitzer lists, or on the bestseller lists, or on lists that get people attention that like to read books.
Yes,
so, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Does subject matter come into play? Because I imagine because you know obviously something that's more, I'm gonna say controversial, but something that's heavier is going to evoke more thoughts and emotions than something that's more lighthearted. You know?
Yeah, I'm open to whatever they suggest.
Sure.
I will.
So it's kind of where the club takes it, where it goes too. It's like, I've been wanting to read this. Do you mind if we do that as our selection?
I always ask them. I said, if you have a book you want to read, just let me know. If we don't have it, then I can order it, and then I'll have multiple copies for everybody.
Is there still that program in New Mexico where it's like a lending library where the libraries like lend? Like, say we do book club and you get like, Farmington's got a bunch of books. They're going to send us those. And we're going to send
interlibrary loan. Yes, we do that.
Okay. I didn't know if that was still part of the system and all that. So you can utilize resources like that if the group says, hey, we want to read, I don't know, To Kill a Mockingbird or something. And you know, they probably already did that one, but
no, we haven't yet.
No. Well, I mean, that's one that all of us read in school. So maybe, you know, that's not a bad idea now I think about it. Because really, let's face it, most of us probably read that in high school and then haven't read it since.
Right.
Maybe that's something. Read it through adult eyes and see if the message still rings true as an adult than it did when you were a teenager.
But if you read that one, you have to read the second one. And then you'll say, "Wait a minute, what happened to Atticus?"
Right. Well, and part of it too is the movies kind of interrupt people's thoughts on that. Not that I'm saying that I like movies, I like all that too, but sometimes you watch a movie based off a book, and you get the movie's interpretation of it, not your interpretation. Right. Even if you watch the movie and then read the book, you're still reading the book through the lens of the movie.
Oh, yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
So like in your head, you're like, oh, this is the scene in the movie where they did this. Right. It's like, but it's not the same in the book. And then you're like, well, the movie did it better. Like, well, I don't think you did because this is the original story right here.
Exactly.
Yeah. And let's just face it. We know that some things in the written word don't translate on a visual as it does the same, or at least they can do it, but not in a movie with a budget. It's like if you're in some volcano, some crazy, you know, they're kind of like, I can't recreate that in a movie without computers and CGI and all that stuff too. So some of that comes into play on stories and how, you know, I imagine there's less of that now because of CGI and things, but I'm thinking older, you know, To Kill a Mockingbird would be an example there is where, you know, there's stories being told in the book that you just can't really accurately recreate in a movie.
But see, I'm an old movie buff, so I like the old, I like the original with what's his name? And you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
And I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that movie.
And I think that's the one they showed us in school, like after, like you read the book and then they show you the movie, and that's the one I saw in school, the original black and white. With his name just went right out of my head.
Exactly, I can see him right here.
Yeah, I'm picturing it and everything. But I'm thinking of someone else and not wanting to stay that, and I'm like, oh, that's not. Yeah. So, but anyway. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely so. Come do that. Come again. Go to the library here. Pick up a calendar.
Yes.
Yeah, the calendar that comes out each month.
Yes.
And put that up on your refrigerator. It's also available at the city, Roswell's website there, the library website. You can get a digital version of it if you prefer. But if you like the old school, pick it up from the front desk there, and then get you those magnets with the oranges and apples or whatever it is. Stick it there to the fridge, and that way you can kind of, you and the family can plan ahead on what events you want to make sure you're there to participate in.
And also, before we go, I just want to say that this Saturday we're going to be over at the courthouse lawn.
Oh, for Christmas and the movies with the Main Street Roswell?
With Main Street Roswell from 12 to 4. The library will be there doing crafts with the kids.
Cool. So come out and do your...
And we'll have calendars there if they can't
so you can pick up on up there. And so while you're out enjoying all the Main Street Roswell fun this weekend, swing by the booth there on the courthouse lawn for the library.
And do a craft and get a calendar.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot of fun on Saturday out there. Hopefully.
I think the weather will be okay.
It's supposed to be 60.
Good.
There is a 20% chance of showers.
Well, that's pish posh. That's
but
nothing.
It's 61, so it maybe.
It won't be like this past Friday. I was coming back from Hobbs. I was like,
"Oh yeah,
where am I?"
Yeah, I lucked out on that one. We actually came back Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Thinking, okay, well, we'll miss all that stuff, and we did. And to be honest, they probably got way worse in Hobbs than they did up here.
Yeah, because I seen pictures of snow on the roofs over there. So
and we got nothing here. It looks like
when we were there, it was like snowing when I was getting ready to leave because I was helping with decorating Main Street on Saturday, so I wanted to be back. And I looked out the window and I saw that snow come down. I was like, well, I guess I won't make that.
Well, and we came back Saturday, and the only place that had snow was Vaughan area.
Yeah.
From Albuquerque, and but the road was clear.
Yeah.
It was fine Saturday morning.
Right.
But I know it was a little squirrely 12 hours earlier.
Oh, but, what a difference.
Yeah, but they had several inches of snow up there.
Yeah.
And then by the time we got down here, it was all gone. And it was like this corridor. If you went to the east of us, they got hammered. Up in the mountains, got hammered.
Right.
But if you were right that Sweet Valley spot where Roswell and Carlsbad, Artesia, it kind of just, we got moisture, rain, not snow so much. So I'm happy. I'm thankful. Some others were probably a little disappointed.
Yeah.
Probably some kids thinking they might get the day off today. Sorry, kids. It was 60 on Saturday or whatever it was. Some crazy, insane temperature.
Exactly.
So. Good deal. Tracy, is there anything we missed?
No, I think we got it all.
Just come on out. Library's got tons of things. Go online. Go swing by. Get you a card if you do not have one. And then start participating in all these great fun events. Like you said, almost all of them are free of charge.
Everything is free.
Yeah, everything, especially during the holidays.
Right.
Here. Only time you really got to pay is when you lose books
or return something really late.
Yeah.
Yes.
So don't do that. You'll be just fine.
Exactly.
And if it's just a little late, it's not a big deal. But
right, because we give a grace period about several days.
So they give you a grace period. So if you're just forgetful, it's no big deal. But,
right.
After 6 months, or that story of
6 months.
you always say that story of like 50 years later, I returned that book, and
that's your book.
Yeah, that's your book. Yeah. Good thing we're just going to charge you for the book and not the fees, because otherwise you'd have to take out a second mortgage. But
there you go.
So, very good. Well, thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
And I'll see you next month here.
Yes.
Before Christmas, I'm assuming. Yes. So yes, we're going to get you in and talk to you there. But so good to see you, and don't work too hard today.
I won't.
Yeah, I work hard at not working hard.